Hi guys, it's Kat. Today, I'm going to show you how I built this super tiny haunted house. It's in 1 to 144 scale, so that means it's the size of a dollhouse inside a dollhouse. Thanks to Magicfly for sponsoring this video and sending me their paints to try. I love working on this project, and you can use so many of the techniques here for houses of any style. Let's get started. The first thing I need is a base. From a 1/4 inch thick wooden slat, cut out a 1 3/4 of an inch by 2 3/4 of an inch rectangle. Then grab a jumbo craft stick that's 1 inch in width. Cut off the rounded end and then cut off a small 1/2 inch piece. Glue it to the bottom right side of the foundation base. From the same jumbo craft stick, cut out a 3 1/2 inch length. Draw 2 arch windows and a rectangle for a door. I first draw the shapes on the wood and then slowly cut it out using my X-Acto knife. Take your time here so you don't crack the wood. I like to press down instead of dragging the knife because it's safer and more effective. Cut out another 3 1/2 inch length of a craft stick and glue it to the right side of this front piece. As you can see, this is the structure for the front room. Then take a giant craft stick that's 1 1/4 inches in width. Cut out a 2 1/2 inch piece. Draw 2 windows on the left side and cut them out. Glue it to the right side of the house to finish up that wall. Glue 2 pieces of craft sticks together to create a 2 1/2 by 1 3/4 of an inch rectangle. This will be the wall for the front of the house. It needs 4 arch windows. Glue that to the front. For the left side, create another 2 1/2 inch by 1 3/4 of an inch rectangle and cut out 2 windows in the center. To clean up my rough cut marks, I sand and file inside the shapes. Glue that to the left side. We have most of the walls up now, and you can really see the house coming together. Let's work on the roof line next. From a 1 inch thick wide craft stick, cut out a 2 inch section, then draw an angle line on the left side. Cut it out. Trace that same angle on another craft stick and cut it out as well. Glue the 2 angle sides together at a 90-degree angle. Position it on the roof line and mark where the house ends. Cut off the excess wood. I draw a small window in the center of the roof front and cut it out. Then simply glue this into place. To finish our wall, position the craft stick at the gap and trace the shape. Cut out the shape and glue it into place. Glue a 1 1/4 inch section of craft stick at a slight angle to the back left side for a roof. Use the same technique as before to create another angle roof line. This one will go on top of the front tower. Just position, mark, and cut angle lines to create 4 perfectly sized trapezoids. To close up the center hole, I cut a tiny rectangle of wood and glue it in from the inside. Then cut a 1 1/2 by 2 inch rectangle to close up the bigger section of roof. Now that the structure is complete, let's start painting. I'll be using this acrylic paint from Magicfly. This set has 14 bright colors and 2 metallics. It's a matte finish, so it's perfect for a distressed look where you don't want any gloss. I'll be using this white paint for the interior walls. Because it's a matte finish, it looks just like wall paint once it's dry. I add 2 layers for an opaque look. Just make sure to let the first layer fully dry before adding on a second. Next up is flooring. For that, I'll be using this dark walnut veneer. It's super thin and easy to cut. I cut out a bunch of 1/8 inch strips for the look of hardwood floors. Glue them inside the house individually. I break some to create the look of broken floorboards. This step is a bit time consuming, but the results are well worth it. Glue craft sticks together and cut out 2 more panels that are the same dimensions as the first floor. Add veneer to these as well. These will be for the second story and attic flooring. Paint the back of these with the same white paint because these will be the ceilings for the other side. Now slide them into your dollhouse and glue them into place. This is really coming together. Before we start decorating, add one more window to the roof of the tower. I just used a drill to make a hole. For the windows, take some cardstock and draw a simple window frame. Cut it out and paint it black. Then glue on top of the cutouts we made. I used black E6000 glue. We'll need 10 of these windows. I also draw and cut out a circle one, paint it black, and glue it to the tower roof. Now we need some siding. Using the same cardstock, cut out a bunch of thin strips. Starting from the bottom of the house, glue them on, overlapping them just a tiny bit. It's a bit tricky getting around all the windows, so take your time. I trim off the excess on the sides. For the exterior color, I'll be using a light gray. I mixed the gray and white acrylic colors to create the perfect shade. For the roof shingles, I punch out a bunch of holes from the same cardstock. We'll need a lot of these. Glue them onto the roof starting from the bottom and move upwards. I overlap them for a more realistic look. Then take the acrylic paint in gray and paint the entire roof with it. Make sure not to forget about the top. Again, I used 2 layers here for an opaque look. With a thinner brush, use the same gray and add thin lines to the siding. This will add to the aged and distressed look. Next up is a porch. Cut a 1 inch by 1/2 inch rectangle from thicker cardstock and fold it in half. Glue that right above the front door. Paint the top of it dark gray and the bottom of it white. While that dries, draw and cut out a door. I paint on a black base coat and then add on this chocolate brown. The matte finish really makes it look aged. From clear plastic packaging, cut out 2 tiny rectangles for the glass panes. Glue them on. Now your front door is ready to be installed. For the porch, cut out a 1/2 inch section from my 1 inch wide craft stick. Stain it with watered down brown acrylic paint. Then glue it below the door. For some posts, I take these toothpicks and paint them black. I painted 4 here, but you really only need 2. Cut out the length you need and glue one to either side of the porch. For the porch steps, I'll be using craft matchsticks. Take one and cut it in half. Glue them together and then glue to the front of the porch. Paint them with the same brown color and the porch is nearly complete. As a finishing touch, I cut out a small triangle from cardstock, paint it gray, and glue it under the awning. We're nearly done, guys. Just a few details left. For the dormer on the roof, cut out another small window. Paint it black and glue the bottom of it to the roof vertically. Then cut out a triangle of cardstock, fold it in half, and glue it on top of the window. I add on an optional decorative piece to this one as well. Paint the roof gray. I made some roof rails to add to the haunted look, but these are optional. They're quite intricate and time-consuming to cut, so I've linked some plastic mesh canvases that you can use as a substitute. Next up, we need some pumpkins. I grabbed some round beads and orange paint. We'll also need some green wire. Simply paint the beads orange and stick a piece of green wire into the center for a stem. Super simple. I decided to be extra and paint the jack-o'-lantern face on this one. Now you can glue them to the porch area. Another haunted house necessity are scary window images. I take the clear plastic packaging and cut out the window shape. Now you can use a Sharpie or nail polish to draw on any image you like. I use some reference images to create these two. Glue them to the inside of the house. These will look amazing when you shine light on it from the inside. Last spooky detail before we wrap up, let's add some boards to the windows. Using the same veneer strips we used for the floors, break off some sections and glue them over the windows. Add them on randomly. This is the easiest detail and adds the most effect. To finish up the house, I cut out more strips from white and black cardstock. I add the white ones along all the edges of the roof to enclose the shingles. Fill in any gaps with white paint. I use the black strips to enclose all the siding. This small detail really ties the whole house together. Add a few more pumpkins to the porch. Add one inside the attic. Now this miniature haunted house is fully complete. This tiny scale was challenging to work on, but it was so much fun. Those of you that have been here for a while know that I built a house in this scale years ago. It's amazing to look back and see how much my work has changed and evolved since then. As always, if you recreate this project, send me a picture on Instagram. I hope you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and make sure to subscribe for more. I'll see you next time. Bye.